Though he is a man of few words, he keeps his word. There was no one but longed for home. As is often the case with the editor, he left out many sentences. How about taking a walk, weather permitting? What do you say to buying some present for him in return for the invitation? It is no use keeping on doing the job. To be frank, you are not cut out for it. When I went to the hospital to inquire after him, she was attending to him. Don't forget to turn off the gas and the light before you set forth. As she takes after her sister. I mistake her for her sister on occasion. You should have gone to the exhibition by all means. That ought to have brought home to you the misery of the atomic bomb. In order to get his speech across, I put it into English word for word. In a word, I am fed up with my life here. I am dying to go somewhere else for a change. Her friend made fun of her in the presence of my sister. I am tired of living from hand to mouth. She seems to keep in occasional touch with him in private. He had no sooner turned up than she burst into tears. She had hardly participated in the project when she came up with new ideas one after another. Naming a child Paul after the saint was catching on in those days. The important meeting turned out to fall on my mother's birthday. Please make yourself at home and help yourself to anything in the refrigerator. When you bring children up, truthful affection is called for. They are sensitive to whether they are truly loved or not. You had better stay away from those friends of yours until you get through with that important job. Otherwise, you'll end up with failure again. Mr. Adams was hard on me at first, as if he had every reason to be so. You may as well hold your tongue as say such a thing. I might as well die of hunger as give in to the threat. I set about corresponding with one of my old friends. They had the courage to fight with the enemy whose soldiers were 3 times as many as theirs. The prince would often have his own way even by resorting to violence. On the contrary, what he said is not to the point in the least. Take the midnight bus bound for Osaka. The bus runs by way of Kyoto. He blamed and scolded me for not having handed in the report. They didn't equip the ship with a lifeboat, so it was next to impossible to hope for their safe return. As you have kept company with me for such a long time, you should have faith in me. I'll keep it to myself. I should know better than to tell anybody. I have got to take leave of my family right away. They discouraged him from running for the presidency. Sooner or later the truth will come to light. He made believe to be in favor of my idea. I would rather seek for a new job suitable for me than go on doing my present job against my will. How come you stood up for such a politician though you were indifferent to politics? For all his enormous wealth, he was eager for more and more money. She is by far the brightest girl. Second to none, especially in mathematics. I am curious about the way he could make himself understood in his poor English. Reading is to the mind what food is to the body. To be brief, reading is equivalent to mental nourishment. You shouldn't attribute the accident to his carelessness so quickly without listening to his explanation in detail face to face. In effect, she is our boss. She is quite at home in the carpet-laying business. I left the book behind, which I had ordered from an American publisher, but he delivered it in a minute to my hotel. I am very grateful to him for his kindness. It is time that the trees began to put forth buds. The ship went out of sight all of a sudden. Our dream didn't come true in the long run. What with the debt and what with the failure of his business, he couldn't for the life of him avoid going bankrupt. By the way, what if you should be laid off? You had better save some money for a rainy day. The party was held in honor of Mr. Fujimi and each of us congratulated him on his victory. I have seen nothing of her since then. What has become of her? There is something mysterious about the musician, and the beauty of his music is beyond words. She apologized to him for not having sent for him. But he wouldn't forgive her for ignoring him. He warned me of the danger of my driving a car in America on the grounds that we were used to keeping to the left on Japanese highways. I have had enough of this pasta. If I eat it all up, I'll gain weight for sure.